Good morning. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony Show. My name is Anthony.
I'm Carla Marie. Why do I got the barfy face?
I don't know. Someone put the barfy face on you. I got the party face, though.
I'm not barfing.
I don't know. I actually didn't see. Okay, let's see.
Hype train's
Jersey
close.
Quinn put both of those in there. The party face and the barfy face.
Barking. We need a
Barking
barking face. Lisa, thank you for the subs.
Appreciate that.
Oh, we're off center.
What? Oh, well, you've got to move
Well,
towards
you
me
have
then.
Man spread.
Yeah, well, that happens. I like that Carla Marie complains about manspreading, but sometimes, not even sometimes, oftentimes she'll sit here cross-legged under the table kneeing me for the whole show. But God forbid, a man moves his knees a little bit further apart from one another. They're manspreading. We are in Hype Train Level 3. Thank you very much to everyone who has participated so far. Jen and Lisa gifting out some subs. Cass in Florida and Angela, who else? And Becky resubbing and cheering with bits. So thank you to everyone who has participated so far. We do have a special surprise today. If we get through Hype Train Level 5, there is should we say it? Yeah, hold on. There's an interesting thing we'll have to drink. It's near and dear to my heart, I guess you could say.
And mine.
And Carla Marie's. Should we show them? Should we show the people? It's a buzzball.
We need a sound effect.
It's a buzzball. So that'll be very interesting. If you know the story, I once got it wasn't anything I did wrong, but they stopped serving me on a plane because I drank too many buzzballs, according to the stewardess or the flight attendant. I don't know why I said stewardess like it was.
So back in 1950, when Anthony got
Okay, let's be clear. We were saying stewardess in 2000. Back in the old 2000s.
I mean, still a long time ago.
And Carla Marie had a fun experience with buzzballs at Sam's bachelorette party, right?
Yeah, I got 15% alcohol.
And I also, because if
Hammer.
Buzzball ends up watching this, the people from Buzzball end up watching this, I want everyone to know I did nothing wrong when I had the Buzzballs on the plane. As a matter of fact, I only asked for one. And then the flight attendant, because I was like sitting pretty close to the front on a Spirit Airlines flight, and she kept coming back and asking me if I wanted another. I was on my way to go see a bunch of friends in Vegas, so I figured why not loosen up, grease the wheels a little bit before I got to Vegas.
The thing about these is that they look so innocent, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, oh my God, look at this cute little drink. I'm going to pop open the can. But you don't oh my God, what happens to you?
Yeah. So because she kept asking me, every time she would pass me, she'd ask me if I wanted another Buzzball. It got to the point where I had 3 of them. She asked me if I wanted a 4th. I said, sure. And then the head stewardess came. The head flight attendant came with the open Buzzball for me. Mm-hmm. And she said, sir, I would just like you to know, after this drink, we have to cut you off. And I looked around and I was like, no, I don't know why, but I don't need the drink. It's okay. And she said, no, well, we offered it to you. So we're going to give it to you. But because of the length of the flight, we shouldn't have given you more than 3. I said, okay,
that
ma'am.
Sounds like a you problem, lady.
Well, I said, ma'am, I really don't need the Buzzball. I just said yes because it was offered. And she kept saying the same thing louder and louder every time we had an interaction. She'd say, no, but we just have to cut you off after this drink. And now all the people on the plane are looking at me like I'm the problem.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't say a word to anybody. So
I can't.
I've never embarrassingly drank a drink in public like that before.
And what color which one did you have?
I think it was the green one,
and
actually.
You were probably just
sipping. Like a little angry squirrel.
So we're going to split one this morning because, I mean, I'm not kidding. The Rock would drink this and be like, woo.
Well, they're not weak. What's the...
15%.
No, they're actually not that strong. Compared to some of the ones we've had have been 30 and 45.
That's not true.
I think the ball was 30.
The ball? That is the ball. What do you mean?
No. The margarita we had.
Oh.
But I could be wrong. Either way. Thank you to everyone who has helped us so far. I think, oh, wow. Cass from Florida with 1,000 bits there. Unicorn Cindy gifted 5 subs. Cass gifted another
There's a
200
lot
bits.
of them that came.
Felipe from Florida with a resub. It's Meg Not Megan with 100 bits. Lunchbox Lob with 5 gifted subs. Melissa K with a resub.
I might have to drink 2 buzz balls. I'll go right to
Yeah,
sleep.
I think we've got to be at Hype Train level 5 at this point, right? It should be on the screen. Let me put the other screen up here. All right, we are good, Carla Marie.
Oh, we need the birthday song for It's Meg Not
All right,
Megan.
well, while we play that, why don't you pour up those buzz balls?
Happy birthday, Meg.
Here we go. Do I have 3 pieces of ice today?
4.
Oh, wow.
Because you specifically requested more.
I'm
Shake
so,
Well, which
I'm
I
so
did.
rich.
Women owned. Oh, TerraCycle. We don't have a thing.
All right, you ready to do it? Cheers to you, Carla Marie.
It feels so much
Cheers to
fancier.
Meg. Happy birthday. Cheers to everyone who supported the stream today. And, of course, to Buzzball and
Oh.
our friends at Seattle Cocktail Club.
So glad we're having the...
Let's have... Whoa.
Wait.
We toasted.
No, Tequila Rita flavor because Cinco de Mayo's tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I've never had this one. Wow.
This is the one I was having on the plane, I think.
Last summer,
I feel like it was only green and yellow they were giving me.
we have a bunch more to try. Not today.
No, next week.
The chocolate one is so good.
I didn't have the chocolate one when we were at Seattle Cocktail Club's Carnival of Cocktails, but a lot of people said it was very good.
I think I might put it with some ice and put it in the blender.
They had a gigantic inflatable buzzball,
I think we need
and
it.
I feel like what they should really be doing, and Buzzball, if you're watching, feel free to take this. I respect you guys. You can have this idea. They need just Buzzball beach balls.
I'm sure they have them.
Like, don't even think about the silver top, the aluminum top. Just make it a beach ball. Buzzball, done. Good to go. It is Star Wars Day as well. May the 4th be with you.
Yes.
What a great back-to-back days to celebrate. Star Wars Day
What is everyone
and
doing
then Cinco de Mayo.
for Cinco de Drinko, as they say?
Who says? Diva Woman, thank you very much for the 100 bits. Dana on Long Island with 100 bits. And
Drinking 20.
I think that's everybody. I think we got everybody. 21 Seeds, great choice for Cinco de Mayo. A little tequila. The cucumber tequila is
I know, we need to get more.
so easy to drink. But today is about Buzzballs, so thank you very much to Buzzball.
Melissa said margaritas from Blue Moon here in Jersey. Like, the beer?
No, there's Blue Moon Cafe in Jersey.
Oh.
There used to be one in Ridgewood. I think there's one in Montclair,
Oh.
maybe.
I think we're going to a
There's a few.
brewery tomorrow, which doesn't make any sense.
But they're going to have, they have,
a taco truck?
it's not even a taco truck. I think they're having people in their kitchen who ask to come make tacos. I don't know if they're employees that also have their own, business
Oh.
on the side, or if it's just another company coming in.
I
Yeah,
feel
Blue
like-
Moon Cafe in Wyckoff. That's my neck of the woods.
I feel like I haven't celebrated Cinco de Mayo in a few years. Like last year, I remember Hannah just came over and brought us tacos. We didn't go out.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Probably from the place we're going to go to tomorrow.
And then the year before that, it was. I remember 2020. I think I went and picked up tacos and margaritas for us because you could take your drinks to go.
Yeah, the little Ziploc
And we-
bag margaritas.
And we had them on the roof. But I am ready. Oh, your mom said they were just there on Monday at Blue Moon Cafe.
Would you look at that? In Wyckoff?
I've never been.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. On the list today, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 review and the mix-up. How often do you need a vacation and birthing makeup? So what would you like to do first, Carla Marie, as I sip this marg?
I guess Guardians review.
All
we
right.
should do the mix up first.
The mix-up first. So we often get invited to these screenings, premieres, whatever you want to call them.
Advanced screening.
Advanced screenings, and they're usually at one of 2 theaters. There's one up north by us in a place called Northgate, and then there's one downtown in a theater called it's the AMC Pacific Place.
Pacific Place.
So I started driving towards Pacific Place. We park in their parking garage. We get all the way up to the fifth floor by taking the escalator, zigzagging all the way up. And normally when we get there, especially if we're on time, there's a time period for press to get in and get their seats. And then they basically have like an open call to this big email list. And they can fill all the remaining seats. But normally those people are online as we're showing up. So we get to the top floor where the AMC is. And I knew we were on time, and I looked over, and I didn't see anyone lining up. And for any of the Marvel movies, there's always tons of people.
But I was wearing a hot pink jumpsuit, and I was having Anthony take videos of me before we got to the top because I wanted to do a slow-mo video. And so we spent about 5 minutes doing that.
Yeah. So we get to the top right on time, which I said, we're on perfect timing. This is great. And then I looked over, and the line the place where the line usually is for all of the additional people watching the movie, there was no one there. And immediately I thought, damn it.
Is this the right theater?
Is this the right theater? And the easy mix-up here is it wasn't at Pacific Place AMC. It was at the Pacific Science Center.
Which, when I saw you put it in the calendar, I was like, oh, it's at Pacific Science Center.
Yeah, it's an IMAX theater.
This is going to be awesome. And
so cool.
Completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
We're driving there just like a normal day. And then we were like, we got to go. So now we're like, it's closed. But we're like rushing down the steps. We almost didn't like get seats because it was packed.
Yeah.
But all was well.
Yeah.
But it was just a typical like.
And the best part was we ended up showing up late for the movie, almost not getting seats. But we did everything to prepare to be there on time.
I know.
Just ended up going to the same place. But again, very easy mix-up. Pacific Place AMC, Pacific Science Center. But seeing it on the IMAX screen was definitely cool.
We had time to get snacks, so we were on time.
No, we did not get stuck in the front row, Meg. We got
in the back row.
We were the very, very back row.
But it was fine.
Yeah. With an IMAX screen, it's not a big deal.
There was something I was just going to say about... Oh, but that was the same snafu when I sent you to Pacific AMC for Beauty and the Beast, but it was really at Pacific Science Center.
But that one wasn't my fault at all because I asked Carla Marie through text what theater to go to, and that's what she sent me.
Yeah, so we're even now.
Yeah, I guess, whatever.
Anyway, so Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, this part of the Marvel franchise is near and dear to my heart because Guardians is my favorite storyline.
Why do you like it so much?
Because it's so much fun. Like, it's just a group of, I guess they all are, but it's a group of just different people that kind of come together and have fun. Where everyone else in the Marvel series is very, like, serious. And yes, they all have, like, somewhat of a, their storylines are clearly effed up.
Well, they're all comedies, too.
But the personalities... I'm talking about Guardians.
Okay.
The personalities of all of them together are just like, I'm hanging out with my friends and we're all a bunch of misfits.
Yeah.
And and like Chris Pratt, like he's so good as Star-Lord, just the whole thing. So I was very bummed that this was going to be the last one, but it's the best one.
Which, that's a bold statement because the first one's very good. Second one is pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to even worry about comparing it to the others. It's just, you obviously have to see them, because there are parts of the storyline you need. I did not expect the emotional roller coaster that movie was going to put me on. It is very, very good, regardless of what you think of the other two movies or any other Marvel movie. But it's also the darkest one, I think. There are times in that movie where you're like, oh my God.
So, I mean, and we can talk a bit about it without ruining anything. The whole point of the storyline, which they've said forever, was that you're going to find out Rocket's background. Why Rocket Raccoon is the way he is. What happened to him. Like why, and he's mentioned before in other movies, I was something about like being taken apart 7 times, like something like that. So you're now watching this baby animal go through this. Like you're seeing flashbacks. And let me tell you what, that part I was like, I literally was looking at Anthony going, I can't watch it.
Yeah.
And it's not gory by any means. It's just, oh my God.
It's emotional. It's a very emotional movie, which I was not expecting from what Carla Marie, because I think you did a good job of explaining how it is one of like the most carefree of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, because like when they're fighting, they're just like making jokes.
Yeah.
Killing bad guys.
Life is a Hike says, how many extra scenes are there? And there are 2 additional scenes. So there's an end credit scene that comes on pretty quickly. And then there's one at the very, very, very end. So you've got to watch all of the credits. Every single grip is thanked, and then you see the second scene. But very, very good. Highly recommend it. And it is one of those movies. I feel like you could say this with almost every Marvel movie. It is worth seeing in the theater because it's so big. It's loud. It's big. There's a lot of action. And I know Elvis did have Chris Pratt on today. And there's one question I would ask Chris Pratt, but I can't ask it to you because it would give part of the movie away about a scene.
Well, I think we can probably look up the answer, but not even just the scene of when they're interacting with Rocket.
Or Groot, or any of the CGI type characters.
Groot is a person wearing something on his head, I believe.
So is Rocket not a person?
I don't know. He's very tiny. Maybe it's a toddler.
Sure. Or just
I was looking up a lot.
Or a jockey.
I was looking up a lot of the CGI behind the scenes stuff yesterday. I've seen it before, but like right after the movie, I was like, I just need to see this. And it's crazy. Like, that's what makes you realize how great they are at acting.
Yeah.
Because they're in a room that's just green. They're not in the middle of the galaxy. They're not actually talking to a raccoon or a giant tree. It's interacting with each other and nothing. So it just makes you appreciate them as actors so much more.
Yeah.
They need an Oscar.
It was very good. I would highly, highly suggest it. Now, if you don't like any Marvel movie, don't see this one.
No.
Because it is very much in the same vein as every Marvel movie. So if you haven't liked one, this is probably not going to be the one that changes you.
You cried at some point. I saw you had a tear. You did this.
There were definitely emotional parts. I don't think I actually cried at any point. Not because I don't cry in movies. I just don't think I actually teared up.
I was sobbing. I went through a whole, not sobbing, but it was just coming down.
You're kind of sobbing. I don't know why I can't pull this comment on the screen. It's really weird.
It's over here, but not there.
Yeah, it's on our main chat, but not on the chat that I can put on the screen.
About
very
like
weird.
Gummies?
Yeah, you want to read that, Carla Marie?
Where'd it go? I don't know, because sometimes when people subscribe and then comment, I think it like does it as one thing.
Yeah.
M. Cedal said, "Woo, just ordered some Seattle gummies. I decided I wanted to try the slumber shots and save money by not buying coffee in the morning. I'll report back after I give them a try."
That's what I actually talked about this morning in the morning show podcast. 100% worth trying at least, right? Every type of herbal supplement or even medication is going, which these are not. They're going to affect people differently.
Yeah.
I know some people like ZQuil can knock them out. Doesn't work for me. So I think if you are someone who struggles to fall asleep and relax at night, it's definitely worth trying these slumber shots from Seattle Gummy Company because they definitely work for me at least.
They do for me. The first time they didn't. I was like, what the heck? I don't know why. I also could have been in my own head about like, is it going to work? But now, they're amazing.
Let's see.
I will say though, sorry, as a former coffee drinker, the weirdest thing is the habit of not having your coffee cup. So you may want to have like a
water,
a tea or a water. Like it's so bizarre.
Something warm.
Yeah.
Warm lemon water. That's always good for you.
Or an iced tea.
Let's see. Lenny said, my wife needs 2 slumber shots. For me, I need half. It's different for everybody. And in a pack, so you would get, I think 12 packs in a box if you order directly from Seattle Gummy Company. And in each bag, in each pack, you get 4 of them.
Slumber shots.
Slumber shots, yeah. Yeah, with slumber shots, you get 4. With the recovery gummies and the power up gummies, you get 4. With mocha shots, you get 2 in each pack.
Also,
immunity, how many do you get? 4? I think you get 4
4.
immunity, yeah.
We just put in an order, and I'm very excited because we're going to try is it the Hydra gummy?
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
It literally sounds like we are about to take off into space if we have it. But it's a hydrate gummy. It's like the world's first. You're supposed to have it with water as well, but it's supposed to help like super hydrate your body.
Oh, and if you want to replace your coffee, Jersey Quinn has a good suggestion. She gets the pink drink, which is what? I know our friend Kira gets the pink drink a lot.
I get it too, but it's
like, you get it?
I've had it at the Fred Meyer one. I'll get it
okay.
sometimes for grocery shopping. However, it's like a lot of sugar.
Well, yeah. Helgeen said she does the quad lattes. I don't even know what that means. Is that 4 shots of something in a latte?
I believe so. High class.
Do you?
Jersey Quinn.
Do you? Oh, let's see. Lisa says our house is big on the immunity shots. My dad's taking them too. Sweet. I do
Woo.
the immunity shots. Anytime I travel, I make sure I have immunity shots with me. Planes are just cesspools, so anything to boost up my immunity a little bit. So I'll do it almost every day that I travel. I don't normally have them when I'm just hanging around Seattle. Maybe I should, but definitely when I travel, I have them. Next up on the list, Carla Marie. We're going to skip how often do you need a
Oh,
vacation for a second,
okay.
because I saw a couple people commenting on the birthing makeup.
So this has been quite the like drama, I'd say. I keep seeing it pop up over the last few months.
Mhm.
A big one was Heidi Montag from The Hills.
Mhm.
She gave birth and was like in full face of makeup and even had photos of like someone doing her makeup in the hospital and people were irate. But the thing I have to say about that is you didn't give birth. Shut up. She can do whatever she wants.
It's also different when she's been famous since The Hills, right?
Yeah.
Or Laguna Beach or The Hills?
Hills.
Hills. She's been famous since being a kid. And I think you get to a point as you age as a celebrity where everything you do is put under a microscope and you don't know how to exist if you're not putting your perfect face forward.
But now that happened in 2023. First, the base.
It is 2023.
No, I know.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna go. The base of this is that let women do whatever they want to feel good while pushing a human out of their vagina.
Is there a reason to not have makeup while you're pregnant or
like
giving birth?
medically?
Yeah.
No.
Are you getting like, I don't know, forever chemicals seeping into your blood or something?
It's already there.
Okay, so there's no medical
no.
reason to not have makeup while you're
No.
pregnant or birthing.
No.
Okay. Then
So obviously this Heidi thing happens in 2023 and people are like, "Oh my god, Instagram's ruining this. Everyone thinks they need to look great giving birth." Okay, well, you know what? If you feel great, look great, that whole thing
yeah.
while giving birth, why not?
Okay.
1988 when I was born and there's a photo of my mom holding me, full face of makeup, blue eyeshadow. And when she said, she's like, "I couldn't let your father see me without makeup," which clearly is not the case anymore. However,
Yeah.
it made her feel good after one of the most traumatic yet amazing experiences of her life, obviously. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to stand for the women today think they need to wear makeup for everything, blah, 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 because also there are women that don't wear makeup for things. But the idea of shaming or shitting on a person for putting makeup on during literally anything is absurd to me.
Now, was she in the hospital bed and there was like a woman putting on her
Heidi
makeup?
yeah.
Yeah.
But not like while I think that one
Listen.
was actually after birth for the photos, and she was getting her makeup done,
Okay.
which even then makes even more sense.
Now, is it extra
Yes.
to have a makeup artist show up in your hospital room? Yes. But none of us are celebrities,
No.
right? We're part of the poor's here. So if I could
Yeah.
pay someone and not even think about it, if it was an expense that I didn't even have to worry about,
Mhm.
and I also, I guess, had to push out a baby. There's a lot of hypotheticals in
Right.
this situation. Maybe I would do it. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe I would do it.
I get it. Truly all depends. Like, I wouldn't get a person come in to do my makeup because I wouldn't want to pay for that because there's no reason.
Because, again, we're poors.
Right. But I would probably put on some, like today, I just really have tinted moisturizer on.
There you go. But yesterday you had glitter on your face for a movie screening.
I did.
I felt bad because I feel like, Carla Marie, to go back to yesterday, this is actually a little
Wait,
mix
no,
of both.
We're talking about.
Yeah, this is a mix of both. This is about makeup. I feel like you thought you were going to be surprised with another like experience again at a movie screening, like the Zach Braff thing. Like you thought you were going to meet either like Bradley Cooper or Chris Pratt or Zoe Saldana, any of the stars.
I will forever be prepared. I know
Okay.
you wouldn't like spring it on me in that moment because you would want me to physically have like
Yeah.
notes and stuff. I will forever be prepared. However,
Because you went with your purple jumpsuit,
I had rented
glitter
that
makeup.
just for fun, and I was gonna wear it to Shania Twain. And then I was like, no, this is actually even better to wear to the Guardians premiere. And it was. I like dressing for the occasion these days.
Okay, I just felt a little bad. Like I felt like you
Well,
were
then
maybe
you
let
know
down.
what? Call Chris Pratt. He lives here.
But to go back to the makeup thing specifically, do I think Instagram is ruining parts of that process for parents and mothers specifically because they feel like they've got to be, not only are their bodies are transforming entirely in a very, quick short amount of time for what you're doing, right? 9 months probably seems like forever when you're pregnant, but also for what your body's doing, not a long time to grow a human from nothing. And then there's that pressure, right? There's the pressure of you trying to do all the things properly for that baby you're growing inside of you. And now you've got to feel like you have to perform for the world because everyone needs to see your stupid not bridal shower, your stupid baby shower, which is themed or whatever. Every part of it. Now, I actually feel
there's a stress.
Bad for mothers now because of that added stress. And you could easily say like, oh, well, then don't do it.
Right.
But I think it's become such a part of the fabric of our society and what you have to do when you're pregnant that everyone's a part of it. And granted, it's different if you're a hottie Montag because
I thought you said hottie for a second.
She's a hottie.
Like
Wasn't she a hottie? I don't really know what she looks like, honestly.
Okay, hold on. I'll pull her up in a second. But I had just put this up there. Helgeen said, my husband sent a picture to everyone of my son right after he was born, and I was ass naked in the background.
That's pretty funny.
Like, what happened after he realized it?
That is really funny.
I wish I pulled up the photo. I have the photo of my mom, not naked, of full makeup, and I'll see if I can bring it in for show and tell on Monday.
Like you said, if she, felt good,
yeah,
great.
Yeah, dude, is it unfortunate that some women need makeup to feel good? Yes, but everyone has their vice.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Listen, everyone's got. This world is weird. I don't think anyone is.
That's Heidi.
Oh yeah, she's good looking, right?
You sound like a grandma.
I don't know. Who are the other people from the hills that I would know?
LC.
Oh, she's I think the best looking one.
Lauren Conrad.
No, and we're splitting hairs because they're all.
And what's her name? The brunette Audrey. No.
Don't know her. Audrina
Patridge.
I don't know. They're probably all very good.
You probably like her the most.
Well, I'm just gonna look up. Let's put it on.
You definitely like her the most.
Cast of the Hills.
I'll let you go.
Cast of the Hills.
Wow.
I missed every button. Okay, I'm gonna put this on the screen. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, I forgot about Whitney Port.
Who? I guess I'll learn who all these people are in a second.
Kristen Cavallari wasn't really on the hills, though, was she? I'm sure, like in a. Kristen Cavallari is
okay, here we go.
Goal.
So this is the cast of The Hills. I got to go back to this screen. 2006 reality TV show. All right, Lauren Conrad, Heidi Montag, Audrina, and then Whitney Port. Again, all very good looking. Like I'm not even going to sit here and do them the injustice of trying to split hairs
but
between.
Who would you if you had to date one of them?
All of them, ideally.
No, you only get to pick one.
I only get to pick one. Brady Jenner, also a very good looking guy. Who's this? Justin? What is it?
I don't really. Oh, Jason Waller wasn't that?
Was he? That's got to be. That's not what he looked like on the show, right?
No.
Okay, because he looks like a weird indie country artist that you'd see at Stagecoach, but also maybe on a TV show like.
You're deflecting.
Yellowstone. If I had to date one of those four women, if I was lucky enough to have the option of dating one of those four women, either Lauren or Whitney.
Wow.
Probably. Whitney looks like she'd mess up my entire life. Lauren seems pretty wholesome. Is she? I don't know. What
She's
are their
good peeps?
Okay. Was I right about Whitney?
I don't remember. I always just picture you more of like you're a brunette guy.
I mean, she's got darker
Okay. No,
ish hair.
Debate hair.
Her roots are coming in, or whatever. Here, you can just press this button, Carla. There we go. So yeah, if I was lucky enough to be in this hypothetical situation where I could pick between those four beautiful women, LC and Whitney would be the top two. Probably LC first.
Okay.
If it was like a do, marry, kill, Mary would be LC, do would be Whitney, and
I don't think these are legal to do anymore.
kill would be, I guess, the other two, unfortunately. Which, super unfortunate because they don't deserve it, you know? It's not an ending they deserved. Although, I guess I don't really know anything about them, so maybe they do. I don't know. Do we know Whitney was a nice girl, according to where was it in the chat?
I didn't really watch The Hills because I was more of a Laguna person. I was Team Kristen at the time, but now looking back, like when I rewatched the Laguna, I was like, oh man, like as an adult, I am Team LC, though I still like Kristen is my girl. I want to be her when I grow up.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one episode of that show. Maybe like flicking. Was it MTV?
Laguna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like
Was
flipping through the channels. But I don't think I've ever actually watched an episode of that show. Tacoma Swifty says, yeah, Whitney was nice. That's good to know.
Just try.
Heidi's apparently the one that would have messed me up, according to Tacoma Swifty.
How do you send that? Or too late?
You could just put it on the screen. There you go. So that's full face of makeup with your mom.
Like blue silver
and,
eyeshadow.
And baby Carla Marie.
Do you know that I have
It's an interesting haircut she went with.
I think it's probably pulled back in a ponytail in the back. It's just a pompadour on top.
Because I was going to ask if she was a pro wrestler.
You think that looks like Adriana? That's too funny. A pro wrestler. My dad took photos of me coming out of my mom's vagina.
I'm glad you didn't
seen
share.
those.
I'm glad you didn't share that picture.
I remember one day I was going through like all these photos. I was probably like 10, and I was like, "What the hell?" So I've seen what childbirth is like from a very young age.
That picture was very 80s. Meg is absolutely correct.
Like it's an eye-opening experience seeing your head, your baby tiny baby head.
It's definitely an opening experience.
B-Delp said my parents have those pictures. Why? I'm telling you right now, if I ever have a kid, I'm GoPro in that thing. Not for the world. I want to see it happen.
My dad wasn't even there when I was born, so.
Well, then you don't have footage.
There's also, I don't feel like there were a lot of pictures of me. I think when I was like, well, first off, I was also an ugly baby.
You were born early.
I was 6 weeks early, so allegedly, and it's been actually, can't even say allegedly because it's been verified by every single person I've ever talked to. When people would come in and be like, "Oh my God, your baby's so cute," in the hospital to my mom, she'd be like, "No, he's not. He's ugly." Literally in the hospital. I turned into a pretty cute toddler. I was one of those babies, like one of those boy babies with long hair. My parents didn't cut my hair for a while.
Love it.
Pretty cute toddler. Then real awkward for a while, and then I averaged out. You know, there was a lot of peaks and valleys in my life early on. But yeah, I just don't feel like there were a lot of pictures. We also we're not a house that had a lot of baby pictures or pictures of us up. You know, like I go to my friends' homes sometimes and there's pictures everywhere.
Everywhere. That's what we had everywhere.
Yeah, we were other than like the yearly school photo, I don't think we really had a ton of pictures. And I like it that way. I'm glad I grew up that way.
Okay.
What?
Why?
I don't know. I don't like pictures.
So Martha said I had a mirror in the delivery room and Mikey recorded both C-sections. Yes, mirror, because mirrors are supposed to help you because you're supposed to be able to see what's happening and there's like less tearing and you're better at pushing because you can physically see what you're doing.
That makes sense.
And on Emergency NYC, like I feel like that's the first time I've ever watched what a real birth is like because most times it's like, and you're like screaming and then the baby's here or 27 hours later, which I know does happen. But on Emergency NYC, like when they're pushing some of them, they're not screaming, some of these women at all.
Are they just so like hopped up on fentanyl that they're not making noise?
Maybe. But I follow this Instagram account, warning if you're going to go do it, because they're actually, I'll just show you this. No, it's not bad. I'm going to hide this one because it's not blocked. So much of the Instagram account is that. Where it's like, are you sure you want to watch this?
Thank God for moderation.
Badass mother birther.
Okay.
I send them all to Sam when I see them. And she's like, dude, I just woke up to that. Come
Yeah.
on. And it's like, baby's coming out.
But you're one of the weird people that likes gross things in general.
But that's not gross. It's beautiful.
It's both. It's very much both. I don't think they have to always be on opposite sides of the spectrum.
And then there's like women doing it like obviously in tubs. It's like a lot of it is about, not that you don't need Western medication, but it's about like knowing your rights and what you can say
Mhm.
no to when you're in the hospital. You don't need to have an epidural. Like you can truly do this. Our bodies were built to do this without medication, obviously, for years.
Yeah.
And it's about like kind of giving women back that control. But like there's things I'm like, what? It can come out in a bubble?
Who was it? Martha's asking about the account name again, Carla Marie?
I can type it too, so people have it.
There you go. Oh,
Oh,
I'll
you
give you
have
the
the typer.
keyboard, huh?
Eh.
Also, who was it? I think it was Lisa. Lisa said Anthony's not going to be a delivery room dad. You know what? I don't think that's where my place is. I'm not going to help the situation
You
very
wouldn't
much.
be in the delivery room?
Right outside is fine.
Okay, well, I can promise you right now that that is the end of us ever possibly having children one day.
Well, it is what it is. I'll just have to find someone that's okay with it. You'll have to find someone that's okay with that. You know?
Don't be a jerk, because now you're just being funny.
No, I don't know if I need
No.
to be in there. So for most of my life, I've been very good at being like, I don't know if I need to be in this situation. I'm going to remove myself.
Kimmy
And-
Cam just said Anthony.
And I don't think this situation's any better with me in it.
You don't have to look.
And I don't want to be there to begin with. So with those two pieces of information, why would I be there?
Listen, at this rate, we're going to be adopting a kid because there's nothing left.
But this is not about you in the moment. I know if hypothetically this would be you giving birth,
Thank you.
but this is about how I feel about being in that room. You're going to be in that room regardless. Do whatever you want. Set up a GoPro, live stream it, have
I
a
would.
marching band. I don't care.
Dude, you don't have to look.
Yeah, I also don't like the sound of screaming and babies in general. So it's just the whole
No,
situation's
this is a
not
front.
really for me.
This is a front.
No,
No, because I could see you being like, oh, you could totally do this. I'm here for you. I'll hold your hand.
radios or something. I don't know. We've
Please,
got
because
enough.
then my family's going to start fighting over who gets to be there.
Okay, then I'll say I'm going to be there. You could pick whoever you want. Just saying. I don't think.
I'm loving these comments. This is my favorite.
Why?
Amanda, he can't be serious.
No.
B-Delps, tones, don't be crazy.
Why is this crazy? Listen, I think I turned out pretty good.
Guys, I promise you this isn't going to happen.
I think I turned out pretty good in life, right? Again, some peaks and valleys here and there. But my dad wasn't there when I was born. I turned out
Wait,
okay.
did you say I don't love babies in general?
Screaming, the sounds of babies.
Oh. Because Megan said, I feel like the quote, I don't love babies in general, takes babies off the table.
No, I'm actually fine with kids, babies. My biggest problem, if I was to pick any issue with any age, gender, whatever, there is a very specific high-pitched noise that for, I don't know, 12 years of their lives, girls make.
Yeah, it happens.
It is quite possibly the worst noise on the planet. It happens for so many stupid reasons. There's not like one thing that you can avoid, right? It's like, oh, if they see something that they recognize, scream. If they see a person they like, scream. If they see a boy they don't like, scream. If someone mentions a TV show that they're aware of, scream.
There is about a 1 year of life where boys make the same sounds.
Yeah.
Also, boys, young boys, like ages 1 through 8,
Mhm.
you might as well have a giant boulder rolling around your house.
Yeah.
So
We
I'd
do-
rather have the screaming.
We do break a lot of things. I do feel bad for my mom.
It's crazy.
I mean, I guess both of my parents, but my mom specifically, because she had 3 boys and we broke everything.
I've like the strength of a 2-year-old boy
Mhm.
is actually insane. All right,
Yeah.
there's you're being roasted.
That's fine. Listen, I stand up for what I believe in.
Pamela from SoCal, you don't just get to be there for the fun parts of this, Anthony.
I'm assuming that there are a lot of unfun parts outside of just that. I think there's a lot of unfun parts.
Meg said, so you don't want to be in the room and you don't hold newborns.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm assuming if it's mine, I'll hold a newborn. I don't need to hold your newborn. That's your responsibility. I don't need that kind of weight on my shoulders. That kind of pressure in my life.
Megan, just said, I'm in the grocery store right now, and there was a small child screaming at checkout, and that seals the nope, not for me.
Yeah, because I didn't hold infants for a long time. And then my little cousin Ryan, when he was born, and he was still he was tiny. His mom used to bring, because they lived down the street from us. If she had to run out for something, she would bring Ryan over to my mom. And when I would visit, I'd see Ryan all the time. And there was one time my mom was cooking, her hands were filthy. Ryan starts crying, and my mom was like, Anthony, you have to go pick him up and take him out of the little car seat thing, the traveler. What's that called? Basket? What's the basket called? The handle with the basket with the handle. What's it called? Someone.
Got it right. A car seat.
It's a car seat. Okay, yeah.
The carrier.
Okay. So, and I was very, very nervous because he's like I said, he's the size of a meatloaf, basically. He's not very big. And I had to pick him up and walk him around. And from that moment, I was like, oh, I can do this. I'm not going to do it often. I'm not going to tell people I can do it often, but it's not terrible.
I'm loving the people advocating for me in the chat.
Of course, everyone's
Made
going to
by
advocate.
Erica. Can we trade you not being there in the delivery room for all the night feedings, like all of them, so CM can get sleep?
That wouldn't, I'll be honest with you.
That would not bother.
It wouldn't bother me at all. I'm usually up at all hours of the night. I don't have anything that even resembles a sleep schedule.
Okay, Donnie
And
Coleman.
waking up at night does not bother me.
Sure bothers me. Donnie said, Anthony, I had similar thoughts before I had kids, but when that kid is born, things do change. Sure, there are annoying things like diapers and screams, but it's legit the most true love you'll ever experience.
I do not doubt that. And I do 100% agree, or at least I think I do, that once it happens, once there is a baby that I have partially created, I think some of my views will change. But keep this in mind. That doesn't include the birth. It's after, right? I need to see this thing in a presentable situation.
Okay, when I was like,
I don't want to see the goop
anytime
and the blood on it.
I've been hurt when I broke my hand,
Yeah.
kidney stone, anything. What is your first reaction?
I don't know.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Help, whatever.
Yeah.
You're just going to leave me?
So here's the difference. Hey, I'm not going to leave. It's not like I'm going to California. I don't know why I
Your
said
dad
California. My dad went to Rhode Island, out of all places. Honestly, from what I've heard about Rhode Island, and I've never been there, maybe I'd rather be in childbirth. And all I know about Rhode Island is Carla Marie saying how much she hated Rhode Island.
It's pretty, though. It's gorgeous.
Oh, okay.
I want to have a child just to see what happens here.
So,
It's probably not the best reasoning to have one. But
let's go back to your
Okay.
reasoning about how I've responded when you've been hurt or
this
injured
is what buzzballs will do to you.
or whatever. Okay. So the difference here is I am a protective person in general, right? I like to make sure that people around me are taken care of. And if you were giving birth, Carla Marie, I would know that the doctors there in the hospital, I'm not going to make you like walk there by yourself. I'd get you to the hospital.
Okay, wait. This is, you know what I just thought of?
What?
When I was in the hospital for my kidney stone, and we didn't know technically what it was yet.
Yeah.
The doctor comes walking in the room and starts talking to me, explaining it all to me. And he's like, so this is it. It's this. Like, he's speaking. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this man holding his Nintendo Switch like this.
Yeah. No offense. Fuck else am I going to do? Surgery?
As a doctor is speaking to me.
You want me to take the scans?
Pay attention for 30 seconds.
I was paying attention.
No. Like, give the man attention. That's rude.
He wasn't talking to me. I wasn't even in his peripheral.
When I tell you, I was like, I don't know that I've ever been so mad at you in that moment.
So a real weird reason
Thank
to
you,
be mad.
Martha.
What?
Emotional support.
I was there. Physically and emotionally, I was
No,
there.
you were not.
How?
Just physically.
What kind of... This is such a dumb debate.
Pause and just show, like, the disrespect you gave the man that was saving my life.
He wasn't... You were fine. Keep in mind, what Carla Marie's not telling you is at this point, we had been there for almost 3 hours.
But this was the diagnosis.
And I was there. Everything was fine. You were even feeling fine at that point.
I was.
What do you want me to do? What do I have to do?
Okay. If you saw, if like Erica was like, I'm so upset, I was feeling sick.
The cat?
No, the person.
Oh,
And this new guy, or this guy she's dating, took her to the hospital, and the doctor came in the room and was giving all the information. He was just like not paying attention and scrolling. You'd be like, you know what? You need a man in your life, Erica, who will be
No.
there, who will pay attention for you, who will show respect to doctors.
no. Here's what I would say. I would say, like I normally do, and you're in the same group chats I am. I normally try to get as much information as possible. I will play devil's advocate, and what I would say in this situation is it seems, Erica, Carla Marie, that you were the one not paying attention because you were focused on me, not on your doctor.
Oh, why was I not focused? Because I heard click, 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 click in this ear, and I was like,
No, again, keep this in mind. We were there for 3 hours at that point. I woke up in the middle of the night, right? I immediately jumped into action. We made sure you got to the hospital, all of that stuff. Collected whatever you needed before we went to the hospital, all the stuff. I was there with you. At some point, I need to keep myself awake. This is at this point, you woke me up at what? 1?
2.
2? So this is 4:30 in the morning.
But I thought you loved being up in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
You love it.
Babies also eventually go back to bed.
Sometimes.
At some
All right,
point
well,
they
we
do.
have official comments from a doctor.
Okay.
Dr. Dow said, not going to lie, I get a bit peeved when I explain test results and the accompanying person in the room is not attentive.
What? I wasn't. Here's the thing. I was paying attention. I know everything the doctor said. I was just in the middle of a game. You ever play Tetris 99?
Ever pause the game?
You can't pause Tetris 99. It's a very intense game. Great game. If you never played it on the Switch, once you understand how the game works, a lot of fun.
But it didn't help that all I heard was.
And for the record, I know we're talking in the medical field, right? To my defense, and to counter everything that Carla Marie has said so far, everything, in terms of showing respect to the people speaking, okay? This is the same person who would color during work meetings because she said it helped her concentrate.
It did.
It's the same. If we're
and
talking,
I did it during one meeting, and it was a meeting that our piece of shit boss was holding.
Doesn't matter. If we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about whether or not you should be fully attentive or have to be fully attentive.
I'll give it to you that it's somewhat the same.
Okay. I'll win. You know what?
But
I'll take that win.
It was work.
Huh? It's similar. It's not the same. It's similar. And I also think we're glossing over the fact that all the other things I did that night to get to that point. Not that I'm like a hero for showing up in the emergency room, but like, let's not just throw that in the trash. I was there.
I need to rethink this whole thing.
By all means, go ahead. Oh man.
I will not push out a child, literally, unless you sign a paper that says you're in the room.
No, I'm not doing that.
Well, then you're not gonna.
I can't make that promise. What if like I'm traveling? You know, I take after my dad a lot.
That if you have the option, you're not gonna stand outside the room because there's a chance that if it's a C-section, you can't be in the room.
I'm not saying I'm not going to be there at all.
Yeah, no. You said you weren't coming in the room.
Oh, in the room, yeah. Right outside.
No.
Right outside. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Think about it this way.
No, I'm not thinking about it that way.
Think about it this way. If you're not the starting pitcher on a Major League Baseball team, right? If it's not your day to pitch, you could be in the clubhouse. You're still there with your team. You're still supportive.
Anthony.
You just don't need to be on the field or in the dugout all the time.
He's not squeamish. Stop saying that. He's just being a dick.
No, I'm not squeamish. You like a lot of the gross things. You like pimple popping videos. You watch surgeries. You do weird things. I don't do that stuff.
If you want to have, thank you, Scotty said, sports ball is not childbirth.
But sports balls, you can draw a lot of different metaphors and similarities there. Yeah, my brother knows me pretty well. I'm kind of squeamish. I'm not squeamish. Like, there's a difference, right? Everything's on a spectrum for the most part.
I guess.
I'm I'm closer to the squeamish side of the spectrum than the totally not squeamish.
That's crazy. Okay, well, I guess you'll need to decide if you want to be a dad or not be a dad.
I guess I can. Yeah. But again, and here's the best part though. I can say all I want or all you want, like, oh yeah, I'd be in the room, blah, blah, blah. But once it happens, if I just like take a long bathroom break, you can't stop it. All right. Moving on. And this topic could not come soon enough, honestly. How often do you need a vacation? This is something that I knew this happened, but I guess I
Pause
was...
for a second. Your brother just said she'll be so hopped up on epidurals she won't know. Me, is not having any pain medication during labor.
That makes me want to be there even less. So, moving on. How often do you need a vacation? And I know in a lot of people that work in the tech space, when they have their company policy is like, oh, you don't need to, there's no like vacation days. You take vacation whenever you want. People take less time off when that happens, when they don't have a specific amount of vacation days they're allotted because they don't know exactly when they're supposed to use it or how many they're supposed to use. So I think this is happening with us now. Because we run our own business, we took more vacations when we were on the radio than we do here. And there's a couple factors there.
I'm glad you brought this.
On radio, there was a support team that would run things. We could run either old stuff, we could record new stuff, run it while we were gone, so that we didn't feel like we were leaving our audience, our community high and dry.
But now we can also travel. It's not a vacation by any means, but we can travel. We were using vacation days when we were on the radio to just go home to be with our family. We're like, now we don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm. But there's also the other part where when we had contracts, when we were essentially guaranteed a specific amount of money from our company, it also came with built-in vacation days. We had 4 weeks of vacation. And that means when you take your vacation, you get paid. You still get, your paycheck is almost exactly the same. That's different when you're creating for yourself, whether you're a small business. Like, I mean, there's times where my dad has to close his jewelry store to take a long vacation, and he's obviously not making money during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what we're doing here. If we don't post a podcast, if we don't host this show, it impacts us financially immediately. So the question is, how often do you need a vacation? And how do we, as a business...
We just all go on vacation at the same time.
Everyone? Mm-hmm. Everyone in the chat? How do we do that? Because some people take us on vacation with them.
I know. I think every quarter.
Okay.
But then also...
Which we just missed one.
I know. But I think like that is like almost like a good start to take some sort of time off.
So that's 4 times a year then.
My friend Angela, who I got dinner with this week, her company has unlimited PTO.
Mm-hmm.
And already this year, she's used 28 days. And they're like, cool.
Yeah.
You're good. Keep going. And she's taking 3 weeks off in July to go to Italy.
That's awesome.
Unlimited PTO.
And that's great that she's taking advantage of it, because a lot of people don't.
No. And I said that to her. And it's not like she does her job and she like works hard when she's working.
Yeah.
But
and I think what people forget sometimes, and I don't know what Angela does. What is her business? What does she do?
In the space of event planning, kind of, or I guess that's the best way to describe it.
And I'm sure in her industry, there are times where it's probably frowned upon to take vacations, right? Every industry has their time. If you're in accounting, obviously there's a very specific time of year.
Right.
You've got to be there. And I think there are a couple things that your employer, if you have unlimited PTO, unlimited paid time off, there are some assumptions you can make. A, if you slack off because of that freedom, they're going to fire you. Not because you took too much time off, but because the responsibilities they counted on you for weren't being met.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if you are one of those people that takes time off in your industry's busy time. I'm sure Fred's the mailman. In his handle, you can see Fred the mailman. I'm sure that around Christmas time, it's disrespectful to some of your coworkers to take extended amounts of time off because there's so many packages that are being delivered
Right.
specifically around that time. I don't think have to worry about that in this phase of our careers.
No.
I know, but there were times in radio.
Busy times were like September.
Yeah, you wanted to be there when people were getting back into their regular school year routine.
Mm-hmm.
That was mainly the biggest thing. Was just be there to kick off the year with your people who are kicking off their more scheduled portion of their year.
Right. Life is a Hike said, you're both right. I have unlimited PTO and I've only taken 1 day off this year.
Yeah.
Dude, what's today? Thursday? I guess you can't take off tomorrow.
And so that's Larry, you said?
Yes.
What do you do? I think I can't remember. For some reason I want to say mail carrier, but I know that's not it. What do you do for a living? And then we can start breaking out when you can maybe sneak in some time off.
I know we were contemplating taking off 4th of July week because we know that ends up being a big vacation week for a lot of people. Remember last year we watched the podcast numbers dip and we were like, what happened? And we're like, oh, 4th of July week. But the following week is also the All-Star game. And
Here in Seattle, yeah.
Here in Seattle. So there's going to be, so we're kind of back and forth. But
And we're playing in the All-Star game because we're All-Stars.
yeah, so we're not. But we wouldn't go anywhere, really. I mean, we could maybe do some hikes, day hikes or whatever. But we'd do a staycation at that point. But I think we need an actual.
Yeah.
Like the last actual vacation we went on was Disney.
But even then, we were still doing the podcast every day.
That's true.
This is the type of person you never want to work for. Not the person I'm going to put on the screen, but their boss or their friend's boss. Slap a Zombie said, my friend worked at a company. Oh, damn it. It just updated.
You did it. It's right there.
There it is. My friend worked at a company with unlimited PTO, in quotes. And if they saw they could do the job without you, that person would be laid off. That's a crappy company
That you don't want to work for.
to work for because there's a couple things. Are there some jobs that are redundant and at some point when budget cuts come through, people say, maybe we don't need this? Yes. That happens in every industry imaginable. Every industry that's ever existed has had to say, you know what? We probably don't need that person anymore. But the idea that you can take a vacation and your company or your business can survive that week or 2 weeks without you, I don't think it means what some CEOs like or executives like to think it means, that that person's not needed. It means you did your job well enough and you planned your vacation well enough
and
to do this so that your employees, your coworkers, are taken care of while you're gone.
And if your company starts going to shit when one person leaves, you better pay them more.
Yeah, that's true. There are so many people, especially in radio, because it's there are very slim margins in radio. It's entertainment, so there's a lot of pressure, and they're also understaffed in every radio station around America, every single one.
That's what AI is for.
So I've heard managers and I've heard employees be like, "Oh yeah, my boss said I can't take off because they can't survive without me for that week."
Well, they better pay you more than $20,000 a year then.
Then they should be able to like at that point, because there are people who are so important, so integral to their workspace that they will be felt when they are gone. That void will be felt. But you better be paid a lot if that's the case. Like a lot. If that whole company, that $1 million enterprise, cannot survive with you not there, I'm not saying you need to make millions of dollars,
I mean,
but you should be living pretty comfortably.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good question from Meg. She said, when you were in radio, were you allowed to pick your vacation days or do they pick them for you? So different things. When we were at Elvis's show, we would get hey, these are our weeks off this year. But I had no business being at this point in my career.
Yeah, you're 21 years old.
Getting 6 weeks off. But I had to take the 6 weeks that
Can I add to that?
show took.
Yeah. Here's the good thing about Elvis's vacation plan. You had 6 weeks right off the bat, basically. And people in our positions, my position, Carla Marie, Garrett, Josh, we would rotate because someone did have to be in the building.
We'd also get paid extra.
Yeah, but there was someone, a physical body, not only for the way that the show worked, but for the union, had to be in that studio every day it was on. So we would normally rotate and trade off, hey, I'll work Christmas week if you work Thanksgiving week, blah, blah, blah. And on top of that, like Carla Marie said, we'd get paid overtime for that.
And we also, all of us really at that point, lived in New Jersey. Like our families were in New
Mhm.
Jersey. So like where now I have to travel for a holiday.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do that if I didn't live where my family lived.
And on top of that, not only did Elvis plan those 6 vacations around times when people normally wanted to take vacation, right? You had the weeks between Christmas and New Year's off. You had the week before and the week after 4th of July off. Oftentimes around spring break
March,
time,
yeah.
March. And then there was, that's 5. I feel like I'm missing one.
An August week, right?
Oh, yeah, there was an August week. End of the summer. It was like usually right before
Labor Day.
the school year.
Mhm.
That way you could get your last vacation in before you had to be there for 2 months straight. But at the same time, if you needed to take off for a wedding or something, it wasn't a big deal.
No. And I
You were
never
just
really had to, but
Yeah, you were just expected not to take a week-long vacation
no.
outside of that.
But when we had our own show,
Mhm.
obviously we didn't take vacation in the very beginning. The weirdest, it was like very weird because we were like, we don't want to take off, but like also we'd like to go see our family. And I remember Nate, never forget Nate saying this to us when we were getting ready to move out here was get ready to start using your vacation to visit your family.
Yeah.
And we were weird about taking vacation at first. And then when it came to requesting it, like, I don't think we were ever really told, no, you can't take that week.
Yeah.
Except for the one time. But it was more like, well, let's see if this one or that. Like, we always would have conversations with our
Yeah.
boss. It was never, we're taking this week off, unless it was something we had to do.
Yeah. And here's the thing. We were paid pretty well for what we were doing. And we also cared about what we were doing, and we didn't want anyone to feel like we were leaving them high and dry. It goes back to that idea that even if you have unlimited paid time off, there are times in your business where you are expected to be there. So because we grew up in the radio world with Elvis and we understood those dates, it was never really an issue, right? We always knew that September, October, basically from Labor Day to Thanksgiving, you were expected to be there pretty consistently. Yeah, if you had a wedding or something, or a one-day vacation, that's different, or one day off. But that's really like when you're trying to get people into a rhythm. That's when people are commuting the most regularly. Because after Thanksgiving, then you've got vacations, things get a little haywire. So we knew going into it, the acceptable day is to ask for a vacation or submit for a vacation. So it was never really an issue.
2019, actually, after being there for how many years, we were planned Christmas break, and we were debating coming back on the air like January 6th, whatever it was. Like we were going to have off the first 2-3 days of the week. Do we come in for Thursday, Friday? And we were planning my mom's surprise retirement for January 3rd. And I said, we'll come back on that following Monday. That's when most shows are going back live. And I'll just stay in New Jersey and then come back. And then our bosses were like, you have to come back on the air by January 2nd or whatever it was. We have a big boss coming to town, blah, blah. So I was like, fucking fine. So I'll come back here for New Year's Eve, do 2 shows, fly back to New Jersey for my mom's retirement dinner, and then fly back here the next day. I was literally in New Jersey for like 30 hours. We fly back after Christmas for when the big boss is in town. We're like, hey, when are we having the meetings with him? And they're like, oh, he's not here. He didn't come.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding? And they should have paid for my flight home.
They should have. And is there a chance that person was supposed to get there and it was canceled last minute? Maybe. They didn't really do a great job communicating, but it is what it is.
For a communications company.
I feel like that's what everyone says about all of their companies, though. There are very few people who I feel like their executives and their managers are good communicators. I don't think I've heard of that very often. It's not something that, as much as people love their jobs, I don't hear that very often.
Because we communicate with ourselves in our heads and forget that we communicate everything.
We also
they didn't communicate everything.
I do think everyone falls into this trap. We expect everyone to know how we're feeling. We expect everyone to act as we would have acted in that situation without communicating any of it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're a manager, whether you're not.
That's a big downfall.
But that's everybody. And I think everyone does it to a certain extent, you know? What are you reading in the chat, Carla Marie?
Nothing really.
feel like we should have been on this screen for a while.
Yeah, you got to change this coloring.
What do you mean?
I'm not that pale.
I mean, you're not that pale. Although we did finally get some sun in Seattle last weekend, and I went full burn on my shoulders.
Not good.
Didn't even think about it. Not that I was like trying to get burned, but I did not. I guess
It
my
like
body
happened so fast.
Well, it happened so fast. Now, there's a couple things, right? In Seattle, you don't get the sun very often through the winter.
you
From
don't
basically
you don't got a base.
from Halloween, basically till last week, you don't get the sun.
No.
And when you finally do, your body has no idea what's going on. And then for me, I'm someone who gets color very quickly. So you combine those two things, and I used to never really burn in New Jersey, but since I moved out here, I get one burn a year. It's always the first time the sun comes
Also
out.
have no ozone layer.
No, the ozone layer is coming back,
Well, let me tell you,
making a big return.
the rays are different these days. That and your skin changes as you get older, so it's a disaster.
There's that too.
Lisa said, would you guys consider going back to Sandals? That was a fun work trip, but you can do it as a
Yes.
vacation this time. I was literally yesterday thinking, man, we should reach out to the Sandals team and be like, can we come this time, but we're not going to do the show. Because doing the show at like noon in the middle of the day was like a mess. But we can go and get like some content.
It's funny that you were thinking about Sandals and the comment came through because the other day when we were at the Space Needle, we saw a Norwegian cruise ship right outside of, because you can see it down to the docks from the Space Needle. And then yesterday, I was actually messaging completely off, not about vacations, but the contact that we work with, the marketing contact for both of those companies, Sandals and Norwegian. She's a big University of Florida fan.
Oh.
She was posting about the team on Instagram, and one of our best Seton Hall basketball players just transferred to
That's
Florida.
cool.
So we were chatting about that, and part of me wanted to slip in like, "Hey, got any of those vacations laying around?" like she's my vacation dealer.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, hey, you got any of those vacations?
I'm going to, so my
I
best
need
friend,
one of those vacations so
my-
bad.
best friend Alex just went on her honeymoon to one of the Sandals. I want to say it was Curacao.
Mm-hmm.
No, Antigua. And she said it was her absolute favorite. So,
Antigua.
Antigua.
But there is an Antigua, right?
No, it's just
Oh, really?
we say it wrong here. And she was
That's not two different places?
No.
Huh. Learn something new every day.
Saturday's Kentucky Derby?
Wait, so when you spell Antigua is not a place. 'Cause
That-
there's a U there.
But that's Antigua. That's how it's pronounced.
Huh.
And that's how the island people pronounce it.
I feel like they could have just taken out the U.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things about language that do not make sense.
You know what I was thinking about yesterday in terms of language?
No.
I was messaging our friend EJ, and I don't use a lot of shorthand in my texts.
Oh, I love it. But go ahead.
But the one word I will always go to is though, THO.
Yeah.
I'll almost always write that in a text. And sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I'm just using it because I don't feel like writing the full word. And I feel like we should all petition to just change the spelling of though. Because after THO, none of
None of
those
it
letters are
matters.
useful.
So then we're going to spell, but then what about dough?
How come though and thee don't take the same amount of letters?
I'm with you, but
They
like
should.
Slap a Zombie, what do we do about dough then? We got to keep dough because there's several doughs.
Well, because do, like no one says thou, right? Like you're not messing that up.
Thou.
But thou makes sense to have an O. I think we should petition.
Meg's right. Why isn't it THOW like throw?
What do you mean?
Throw is THROW.
Yeah, but that's not though.
No, it's not though.
That's a whole different word.
Through.
Yeah, through and though, I think we can change those. Especially
No,
because
you can't change through because
Why?
I'm getting you through this and I through this have to be two different spellings. And one is THREW and one
Okay.
is THROUGH.
So, but why can't we just go THR? Wait, hold on. I need to see it. So where is? I think through in terms
Buzzballs,
of
man.
no, I think through in terms of I'm getting you through this. THRU is fine, Because we're also used to
But
like
that's
drive-through. Yeah, but why? Because you're getting through it. You're
I know.
driving through it. So why don't we just use that spelling that we're all familiar with now because it's been shortened by drive-throughs?
Also, donut. I hate DONUT.
Really? Why?
I don't know. I go the fancy way, and I hate when people spell donuts wrong. Unless you're talking about Dunkin' Donuts. If you and I'm like, I know I'm ass backwards with all of this because I'll explain in a second.
Okay.
I love spelling donut the proper way. But I don't know if you remember this. It was, when did we end My Day Friday? Last year?
Yeah. Almost
So last June. So it was last January, I believe. So going into January 22, my New Year's resolution was to use shorthand and texting.
Okay.
That's what I said I was going to do. And I've done it ever since. I don't say because ever anymore.
You say cuz?
BC.
Oh, okay.
People is PPL. Like, just, and simple things like, and when I text someone for the first time, I try to use full words because I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm like 12.
Yeah.
But I shorthand all the way.
I'm trying to think. There's another word along with though, because I really, we've got to stop spelling though with all those extra letters. It's not economical.
I was doing PPL and BC before Gen Z was born, though. Mello. We
What?
were doing that when we were like 10.
Oh yeah, like AIM group chats and AIM messages. I guess that's AOL Instant Messenger messages.
When I found my notes.
Was up. I used to learn. I remember
What's up?
because there were, I don't know the keystrokes now, but there were different keystrokes where like you could do the upside down question mark. I had a way that I would say hi to everybody, and it was usually I would do the Spanish question marks, so one upside down in the front and one right side up at the end, and then I would do WAZ and then up arrow, which I don't even know how to do that on the keyboard anymore, but that's how
We
like
have an emoji keyboard.
that's how I would write to every one of my friends. That was my greeting to them. That was my salutation.
I love that Mello said, no, CM, don't succumb to the Gen Z slang of PPL and BC. LOL.
We have our own slang. It's LOL.
Lilas.
Hmm?
Lilas.
What was that?
LYLAS. Did no one ever say Lilab to you?
Love ya?
Lilab. Not in real life. You wouldn't say it, but you would type it.
Love you like a sister, love you like a brother.
You saw it.
No, I didn't. I swear to you, I did not see it.
Okay.
Love you like a sister, love you like a brother. Yeah, no one said that to me. No one. Sounds stupid. My brothers and I didn't even grow up saying that to one another.
Oh, no,
so.
I wouldn't. Well, it's like a sister.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, how did you put it, the whole thing upside down, slap a zombie? I gotta learn all
typed
these.
upside down in AOL.
That's funny.
My mom uses sus for see you soon.
Sus is a good one that I've actually started using, not for see you soon,
Oh,
but
it's like,
for saying like that's suspect. Sus.
or that's sus.
Suspicious.
Just that activity is sus.
It's sus, suspicious. No, but you can say you're like it's suspect.
Those are two different things. Saying that's suspect and saying you're suspect and that's sus are two different things.
No,
Yeah.
it's the same idea because like that suspect is something I used to hear all the time in all of like the old school like hip hop CDs I had. Because there used to be like skits and stuff between all the songs.
Amanda said Anthony reminds me of my 14-year-old son more and more.
I've never had a better compliment in my entire life. All right, it is time to get out of here. We've been sipping these buzz balls, enjoying ourselves for over an hour, almost an hour and a half now.
No, we started late.
Yeah, 8:05.
No, we started after 8:05.
Started around. Anyway, doesn't matter. This is something we don't need to discuss. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll be back Monday morning, and I'm hoping to have this work. Okay? I'll let you guys know before we talk about it on Monday. There is a new chatting tool that we are going to experiment with. It can go terribly wrong, or this can be an epic show, and a lot of people hate this tool. Okay? That's all I'm going to say, but be here Monday because I'm going to try to get it all working over the weekend.
I have no idea what's happening.
You have none, and I'm not going to tell you.
Cool.
But it's going to be.
Am I going to hate the tool?
You might. I think I might too. It's not like a Twitch tool. It's something that anyone can use. We're going to experiment with it and introduce you to it on Monday.
Okay.
Thank you for hanging out with us. We will see you on Monday. And don't forget, there is a new episode of the Morning Show podcast available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Feliz Cinco de Mayo.
Peace.